Have you ever felt like life is moving too fast, like you're constantly chasing something, but never quite reaching it? Do you long for peace, but feel it slipping further away the harder you try to grasp it? What if I told you that the answer to all of this could be found in simply sitting still? This is the story of how one man discovered that stillness can change your life forever. In a bustling village by the edge of a wide river, there lived a man named Hero. Like many others, Hero spent his days working tirelessly, always in a hurry. He ran a small business, selling fish to the people of the village, and though his shop was successful, Hero was never satisfied. Every day felt like a race against time. There were always more fish to sell, more customers to please, more money to make. Yet despite his hard work, Hero was never happy. His mind was always full of thoughts, worries about the future, regrets about the past. He felt like he was constantly moving but getting nowhere. At night he would lay awake, staring at the ceiling, his heart racing from the stress of it all. One evening, after a particularly exhausting day, Hero sat outside his shop, watching the sun dip below the horizon. His hands were sore from the day's work, his legs heavy, and his heart restless. He longed for peace, but no matter how hard he worked, it seemed to drift further from his grasp. As he sat there, lost in his thoughts, he noticed an elderly monk walking slowly along the riverbank. The monk's steps were slow and deliberate, as if he had all the time in the world. His face radiated a calm that Hero had never seen before. Curious, Hero called out to him. "Master," he said, "I see you walking so peacefully. How is it that you are so calm while I feel so restless, even though I work so hard?" The monk turned toward Hero and smiled gently. "Come, sit with me," he said, motioning to a patch of grass near the river. Hero hesitated. There was still work to be done, things to worry about, tasks to complete. But something in the monk's serene presence made him follow. He walked over and sat down next to him, feeling oddly out of place. For a long moment, the two of them sat in silence, the sound of the river flowing softly beside them, the wind rustling the leaves of the nearby trees. Hero shifted uncomfortably, his mind racing as usual. He wasn't used to sitting still. He was used to doing. Finally, the monk spoke. "Tell me, Hero, why do you run through life as if you are being chased?" Hero frowned, unsure how to answer. I suppose I'm trying to keep up," he said slowly. "There's always so much to do, so many things to worry about. If I stop moving, I feel like I'll fall behind." The monk nodded thoughtfully. "I understand. Many people feel that way. But tell me this. In all your rushing, have you found the peace you are looking for?" Hero's heart sank. He shook his head. "No, Master. The harder I work, the further peace seems to slip away from me." The monk smiled again, his eyes filled with kindness. "Then perhaps it is not more movement that you need, but less. Sometimes the most important journey we can take is the one into stillness." "Stillness?" Hero repeated, confused. "But how can stillness bring me what I need? How can it change my life?" The monk reached down and picked up a small stone from the riverbank. "Imagine this stone is your mind," he said, holding it up. "When you throw it into the water," he tossed the stone gently into the river, "what happens?" The stone hit the surface with a splash, sending ripples across the water. The ripples spread wider and wider until they disappeared. Hero watched the ripples, still not sure what the monk was getting at. "The water is disturbed," he said. "Yes," the monk agreed. "Just as your mind is disturbed by constant movement, thoughts rushing from one worry to the next, never settling. Now watch." They both sat in silence for a few moments, watching the surface of the water. Slowly the ripples faded, and the river returned to its calm, reflective state. "When the water is still," the monk said quietly, "it becomes clear. When your mind is still, it too becomes clear. You can see life as it truly is, not distorted by the constant ripples of worry and stress." Hero was quiet, letting the monk's words sink in. For years he had been running, believing that happiness and peace were something to be earned through hard work and constant movement. But now, for the first time, he wondered if he had been chasing the wrong thing all along. "But how do I find this stillness?" Hero asked softly. "How can sitting still change anything?" The monk looked at him kindly. "Stillness is not about doing nothing. It is about being fully present in the moment, allowing your mind to rest. Start with a simple practice. Each day, take a few minutes to sit quietly. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and focus only on your breath. When thoughts come, as they always will, Do not fight them. Simply notice them, and then let them go, like clouds drifting through the sky. Hero nodded, though he wasn't sure he could quiet his busy mind so easily. It will not happen overnight, the monk continued, but with time you will notice a shift. The more you practice, the more you will find that your mind becomes like the calm water, clear, reflective, at peace. This stillness will change how you see the world and yourself. For the first time in years, Hero felt something unfamiliar, a small sense of hope. He bowed deeply to the monk. Thank you, Master. I will try. The next morning, before opening his shop, Hero sat by the river, just as the monk had instructed. He closed his eyes and focused on his breath. His mind raced at first, thoughts tumbling over each other, but he remembered the monk's words. Let them go. Slowly he felt his mind begin to settle, the constant noise fading into the background. As the days passed, Hero continued his practice. Little by little he noticed a change. He no longer felt like he was running through life. Even during the busiest days at his shop he found moments of stillness, moments where his mind was calm, clear like the still water of the river. And with that stillness came something he had been searching for all along. Peace. Not the kind of peace that comes from a life without problems, but the kind that comes from within, the kind that remains steady even when the world around him was in chaos. And so Hero learned that true peace doesn't come from running faster or doing more. It comes from sitting still, allowing the mind to rest and finding clarity in the present moment. Perhaps you too can discover that stillness can change your life forever.